This interview will right now be going on in English because we're here still at Copenhagen History Grand Prix where we're meeting Roger Samuelsson, and very warm welcome and nice to meet you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Will you please introduce to our listeners first of all who you are and what your role is here?
We drive Pro-Am. Chris, my friend here, is driving the amateur part and I do the Pro. I'm an STCC driver from Sweden.
And we've just met one of your other people here in this very exciting heat that'll be very soon. Two other guys, a father and a son over there, so that's very interesting.
Yes.
But please introduce yourself to our listeners, a little bit about your background.
Well, I'm 52 years old. I'm from Sweden. I took up racing 4 years ago and thought I like it a lot and continued, and here I am.
And it's very interesting when you say 4 years ago, so you were 48 years old when you started to get into the interest of racing?
Yes, and basically started by a friend of mine that said, why don't you try one time, Roger? I think you can do it, and I did, and I liked it.
Fantastic. And what about before that? Had you thought about it when you were in your 20s, 30s?
Never. I've just been driving to work and back.
And now you're going out on a real racing track.
Yes.
With a professional. Fantastic. That's a fantastic story. But how did you then go into it? Because that's quite an interesting story.
Well, it's a friend of mine, David von Schinkel. He has a team called Tide. So since he has a team and I'm a friend of his, so he asked me.
And I mean, what was the process? I mean, when you hadn't raced before and you started to get into it, what was the preparation for where you had to go on the racing track?
Absolutely none. I came to the track, I jumped in the car, I didn't know how to start it, and they showed me press 2 buttons, and then you follow the track around, and I did.
and during these years, do you go to some courses or something like that?
No, not really.
So how much do you use it now? Are there some amateur racing things in Sweden you go to, or how does it work?
Yeah, well, I bypassed amateur and I went to STCC, which is the professional circuit in Sweden.
Yeah, and where is that in Sweden?
That's they drive at different tracks around Sweden.
Okay.
It's called the Swedish Touring Car Championship.
And you go into that, so each second week or something you go into a
race, yes.
A race, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, very interesting. And how do you then keep up with? Do you have a daytime job as well, or how is it a half-time now because you have to focus on this?
No, well, I am sort of semi-retired, so I have time to focus enough on racing.
So do you mostly do it in Sweden, or have you been traveling? You go to Denmark, have you been traveling to other countries doing races?
Second time in Denmark, and we done a race in Kenya, a rally.
Kenya?
In a rally race, yeah. And now we're going back to Kenya again in November to do it again. So exciting.
And what type of a race is that? Because that must be really interesting, because they're really far away and another culture and everything.
Yeah, that's 5,000 kilometers in Kenya and Tanzania. Takes 8 days, and you feel like you've been hit by a freight train after those 8 days.
And then how many do you go in the car?
2, then you need to have a co-pilot.
Yeah, and it's you driving all the time?
Yes.
Oh, that's very interesting. And when you prepare for that type of race, do you have to then sit and look at some maps before and with your co-driver?
It's 5,000 kilometers, so far you have no chance, so you simply take day by day.
Is it a well-known rally, or is it something that has come during these last years to be?
No, it's been going on for 30-40 years. It's one of the very famous rallies in the world.
What is the name of it, so we can...
East African Safari Rally.
East African Safari Rally, so people can check it out in November.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. How is it for you to come here to Denmark, Roger, and go to these races a day like today? Have you been to this before, maybe just as a spectator, or...?
Well, no. When I came here, it was my first time ever. It was my first time to race in Denmark.
Yeah.
4 years ago in the park at that time. So.
And now you're back 4 years later.
Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yes. And what do you think about driving in the city, compared to going on a normal track?
I think it's fun. It's a folk fest, and I love to see all these people here, and everyone have a good time. So, very good.
Do you have the same type of thing in Sweden?
No, we don't. We have a small race, STCC race, horse track in Sweden, they turn into racetrack once a year, but not like this. So we are very envious of that. Now we have to get out.
Indeed, and best of luck, Roger. You said that's a best of luck going in the car. Lovely meeting you.
Yes,
Cheers.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good luck. Thank you very much.